Hello everyone, Assalamu alaikum. Well, in this tutorial, we'll take a look how to use provider state management package instead of Getx. Or if you have a Getx package that you're using in your app for state management, and if you want to switch to provider package for managing your state, then you should definitely take a look at this tutorial, and I'll walk you through step by step how to convert your Getx state management to provider state management. Okay, well, first take a look at our basic app over here. Now this app, what it does, it can add stuff as you see over here. So we have added 4 stuffs over here. Now you can go to next page. Over here you'll see that you have this 4 items, total 4 items have been added. Now you can remove them. Now if you go to previous page, as you see, we still have 2. You can add more. You're going to go to next page. Now you see 3. So what's happening here? Our state is being persistent regardless where we go throughout the app. Now, the basic app here has been done using Getx package. And if you know Getx, then shifting to provider would be much easier for you. Well, I'm not saying which is better over here. Personally, I like both, but a lot of you have asked me do a provider tutorial, but this would be a very simple guide for learners who already know Getx and they want to implement or learn provider, and this would be definitely a very cool video for you, and it's definitely very easy. So first take a look at our Getx structure, that what we have so far. And so far we have a class over here, and this class is holding some data, and we have some methods. And we also have a getter over here for getting the x value. And over here we do increment and decrement. Most importantly, this class has extended Getx controller for using the properties of Getx or the method. Okay. And now this class has been injected in our my app class over here. So this is our dependency injection. So with this, Flutter would know which class to load and get the data and show it on the UI. Okay. And at the same time, I have wrapped it around getMaterial, our material app. I'm using getMaterial app because I'm using Getx package for now. So basic thing over here so far, we have this Getx controller. And over here we have this getMaterial app. At the same time, in our home page, we have the data reactive UI over here. So as data changes, because of this one, which is wrapped around getBuilder, this text widget, so we can see the data immediately. Now, of course, at the same time, we also have a button. Now this is the button over here, like this one, which calls this increment x method from here. Okay, so well, these are few Getx properties and methods that we are using. And at the same time, on page 2, like if you go to next page, which is this one, over here exactly the same thing. Once again we are using getBuilder to make our widget responsive, which also means that as we update the data should be immediately updated on the UI, and this widget is wrapped around getBuilder. And over here at the same we have this decrement x, which is this method is being called. Okay, so not much big difference. Only difference is actually increment and decrement. So these are the few properties and methods we are using from Getx. Now over here we see we have this update method, which is once again part of the Getx package. Now this is the time we'll see how to convert this app to provider app. For now it's a Getx app. Now for using provider, you need to come to your pubspec.yml file. And over here, just go ahead and install this provider package. And once you are done, we should be good to go. Now, first thing you want to change over here, we need to, instead of using this getX controller over here, we need to use change notifier. So you can understand as just like getX controller, so which lets you know, or the class that should be responsible for managing data and let the UI know. So instead of getX, over here we use change notifier. Now this one, instead of update, there is another method when you use a provider package. The method is notify listener. Okay, so just exactly update, but this is just a different name. So to me, getX and provider, a lot of same actually. They just got a different name. Okay, it just I would say getX is a simpler version of provider. But over here, you see they don't really make any difference. Okay, instead of getX controller, we use change notifier. Over here, instead of update, we use notify listener. So the core programming logic is not changing over here. Okay, all right. Now we'll go to home page. Now over here, home page, we have this method which is called get find, and then we do this. We call this increment x method. Now we would pretty much copy the same one, okay, for provider. All right. So over here, all we need to do, we need to call provider dot off, and then we need to mention the controller type or controller name, which is data class in our case, once again. And then over here, you need to mention pass a context, and over here a listen property, which is we can set for now false, and then would call the increment method. Now you see how exactly similar they are. So these two keywords belong to getX and this two belongs to provider. And over here, the data type is not changing. Over here, we are not passing anything, but over here we are passing two properties, context and listen. And at the same time, we are calling, similarly, we are calling the increment x method. So personally, I don't see any difference over here, okay? So it's just passing a little more parameters to it and changing the keyword, okay? So, well, here, this is the first change. And you'd be surprised how similar over here as well. Now, because of get builder, we can get the data, updated data immediately. I mean, our widget becomes reactive. So instead of get builder, you see how funny this is. You would use consumer. Okay, that's it. It's just a name, just a change in the name, nothing else. And change the number of parameters you pass. Over here, once again, we are with getX, we are passing nothing, and over here we are passing another two parameter and changing the keyword name. Now over here, the same thing. We first change the keyword name, and inside this builder, for this anonymous function, for now in getX you just pass one parameter, but here you need to pass three parameters: context, class, and child. That's all. Now you see, I see the pattern. When you don't have any parameter or zero parameters, like here 0 parameters, you pass 2. When you have one parameter over here, previously we had class, we pass 3. Yeah, so that's as simple as that one. Okay, now we need to make the same changes in our second page. So yes, once again, here do provider.off and then data class. Well, I think this guy is the one created getX and provider. They must have gone to the same school, and I think they were taught by the same teachers. Well, to me, it's just pretty similar. It's they just make a tiny difference. Other than that, I think they're same. Okay. Now over here for the second page over here, once again, instead of get builder, we use consumer, and now 3 parameters. What it will do? You need to pass a context, and over here you need to pass a child. Okay. Now we are done with this pages where we want our data to be reactive. Okay. So far we have changed over here. Just change the keyword name. Now we'll come to our main page, or main.dart file, our entry point. Now here's the interesting thing. Now here we need to inject our controller, right? With Getx, you inject a controller like this, right? Well, now with provider, it's you still have to inject, but not like this. It's just a different way. I mean, the basic logic is same. If you use provider, you still have to inject this controller, okay, to your app, and you have to do it before you go ahead and run your material app, okay, like that. So like with Getx, you did the same thing. Before running material app, you go ahead and inject your controller. So the basic logic is not changing. So, well, for injecting, first I'll go ahead and cut this one. Now for injecting over here, one thing though, you see that it takes get material app, and for provider, it's still the same, but just a different name. It's called change notifier provider, and that's all. Now over here, instead of, you see, injecting this one outside before return statement, over here you have to do it inside return statement. So over here we do build context. You need to pass a context. Yeah, and Getx is famous for not passing context. Okay, so over here now you need to inject. What are you injecting? You are injecting the controller, and that's all. Okay, now at the same time we need to mention the child. Now our child would be this one, okay, material app. Now because I was using Getx, so I used get. Okay, now I'll remove that. Now I'll go ahead and run it. Okay, now as you see, app ran very well and there is no error. Well, now if I click on this, yes, it increases. So it means that our provider package is working. Now here is a bit of problem though. If you click on this, yes, I do get this error, because with Getx, I was not only using the package for state management, I was also using for routing, if you see. And even this is where Getx is better than other state management package, okay? So with Getx, if you don't want to manage your state, if you just want to manage routing, you're fine. Okay, so I'll put here get. Okay, well, of course, if I don't want get for routing, I have to write a lot of other code over here, just the native way of doing, but I don't want to do it, because once again with Getx, you can just keep it for routing, which I find pretty convenient, and it comes with some cool animation. So if you want to do your native routing, you can go ahead and do that. And in that case, from main.dart, you just remove the word keyword get, and you should be good to go. Okay, so let's go ahead and run it. Now we don't have any error. Do remember, right now we are using both packages together because our main app is wrapped around get material app. Okay, now the point is here you see how it injects the controller. Okay, now at the same time you have to mention the child. Okay, and that's all. Now let's go ahead and run our app, and let's go to next page. Yes, we see. Now come over here, decrease it, go to previous page. Okay, yes, so that's how easily you convert your Getx app to provider app. Okay, so hopefully you liked it. If you liked, don't forget to subscribe and smash that like button.